A lot of people have been talking about this word pivot, and I think not a lot of people know what it means. And I think it's very important to explain what a business pivot is and how to do it in your business or in your career. So a pivot is exactly what it sounds like. Just like a professional athlete pivots in a game, they're running in one direction and they pivot and they start going in another direction. That's what we have to do right now in business. I think a lot of people are in denial right now and they don't actually believe that the world has changed, and they think that everything is going to go back to normal. Even when they open up the economy or let everybody go outside or whatever it is, the world that you knew is not the world that you're going back to. So offices, if they had 100 employees, now might only have 90 or 80 or 70 or 50, or maybe not even open up at all, right? If you're in the airline business, a lot of those offices are not opening up again. If you're in the cruise line business, those guys are closed for a long time. They got really hit. So the question is now, how do I pivot in my business? How do I pivot in my job? How do I pivot in my career? So I'm going to give you a few practical examples, okay? Some things that we have done in Wealthy Commercials is we stopped sending videographers to locations to go film because we can't. So we started to send them kits on how to fit and on with these little devices that stick onto your phone, a little microphone, a little light, and we're sending those to the clients, and those clients are taking that and they're producing their own video, sending it to us, and we edit it, and it's a fraction of the price. That's one example of how we're pivoting. Another way that I'm personally pivoting is I have so many contacts and I know how to trade material, so I'm trading all kinds of things that have to do with the coronavirus right now. Let me just show you one example. You want to see a major pivot? We're selling these. Yesterday I sold 400 of these bad boys. You put on it, you put hand sanitizer on it, and you need to put this in every single restaurant, in every single school, in every single location that people are walking into. You're gonna need one of these. Talk about pivoting, right? So it doesn't just have to be a slight pivot, it could be a really big pivot. And you know what? I was sensitive in the beginning when I started pivoting that people are going to judge me. But you know what? Let them go judge somebody else. I don't really care. I have to do what I have to do to make my family strong and to make sure that I'm able to support myself and able to continue giving charity, because that's what I like to do. So pivoting is looking at your business. Here's another example of how we're looking at pivoting. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I'm exploring the option. These nursing homes need food. And I have a lot of connections in the food industry: meat, fish, chicken, poultry, anything you could imagine. I have access to in very large quantities at competitive prices from guys that have been doing this for a long time. So I want to make marriages between those guys and my clients and have them start supplying the food. Why not get into the food business, right? There's all kinds of opportunities. I'm actually very thankful for COVID, because it rewired my brain to look for opportunity and not just stay very focused in that one little tiny thing that I'm doing, right? There's a big spectrum of opportunity, and if you were focused laser before, now you have to open up your focus right now, and you have to find sweet spots and pockets of opportunity, and you could do it. So now let's say you don't own your business and you're not in sales, and let's say you got fired from your job. Not fired, but unfortunately they had to let you go. You got laid off. What do? So now you have to rework your contacts, and you have to call your previous employers, you have to call your friends, you have to call your family members to see if they have anything open for you. Let me give you an example. If you were doing the purchasing, or if you're a secretary in a company, and you had relationships with all of the vendors and suppliers that when you were working for your previous company, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and speak to those vendors and suppliers that you had a good relationship with, that absolutely loved you, because maybe they want to hire you and you already have a relationship with them. Don't pass out CVs, people. That's the worst thing you could do. Don't pass out CVs. Use your relationships. Use your warm connections. Use your network to help yourself pivot, all right? And that's the last example of the secretary. She could pivot from being in a shipping business, for example, to now she's in the, industrial supply business, who knows? That's an example of a career pivot. So right now it's all about pivoting. I hope this brought you value. Do not rest on your laurels. Do not hope the government is going to bail you out. Do not rely on anybody in this world except for God and yourself. God bless.